Hey, Guru Nation, welcome back to the Clinical Trials Guru. This is for a YouTube only. Maybe it'll go on the podcast. I don't know. I'm interviewing a CRA, a senior CRA. And she will be anonymous right now, okay? But her name is not important. What's important is the top 5 things you can do if you're an aspiring CRA, right? So welcome, Mrs. CRA.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you.
So, quick video. We're going to do a long form video sometime later, but just a quick one. There's a lot of aspiring CRAs out there, okay? So, what do you recommend to someone who does not have a medical background, but they have a bachelor's degree or an international equivalent? What do you recommend they do to get started in the clinical research field? Let's say they don't have any experience in research at all, but they stumbled across one of these videos. They think they like it. Obviously, they need to start somewhere. So what do you recommend they do?
Well, to be honest, because when I started, I had a background, and so I also went to college for it. So I had my undergrad in it, and it was still hard for me to get in. So it's hard for me to even, other than telling an incoming CRA to first be patient and be persistent, because it took me a couple years to get my foot into the door, even after graduating, despite the school that I went to. And so I had to be really patient. I had to be persistent. I almost gave up. So 1, be persistent, be patient, and then 2, keep applying. I know a lot of CRAs, or a lot of incoming CRAs or prospective CRAs, they don't want to start from the bottom, but sometimes that's what it takes for you to do. You have to do that, start in data, data management, or in-house CRA, or clinical trial assistant, something to get your foot in the door. Because a lot of times, once your foot is in the door, they have the opportunity for you. They provide the opportunity for you to climb upwards to become a CRA. They have those open positions. Mm-hmm. So, and they also like to hire from inside, because their systems, the corporate policy, the organizational structure of that company. So don't shy away from doing that. And it doesn't have to take a long time either. It may be a couple years, maybe 1 or 2 years. It all depends on the person and how persistent you are. And also, being in the right place at the right time, having the right manager or whatever. But I guess my point is, just don't give up, and don't be scared to start somewhere. Yes.
Don't give up is the key. So because I don't even know this about you. So you almost gave up yourself, right?
Yeah, because I was it was just taking too long, and and I was just like, well, I'll stay in biotech, and I stayed in the medical industry, but it was frustrating, and I just didn't understand. I went to school, and I'm like, I thought it would be an easy transition, and it wasn't. So it's that whole thing about wanting. How do you get experience if nobody's going to hire you?
Yeah.
If you go to school to do something, how does that work? Mm-hmm. So you just got to keep being persistent, keep going at it. All the other CRAs, everybody had to start at ground zero somehow, but they didn't give up. So just, don't give up if you really want to be a CRA.
So you were not necessarily in clinical research, but you studied clinical research in college, and you said you were working in the biotech space?
I actually, I wasn't in human clinical trials. I was in research already. So I was doing a lot of animal studies, preclinical studies.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So
bench research? Were you doing bench research?
I wouldn't call it. Well, I did that too. I also worked as a lab tech, and doing bench research like that too. But I also did dosing animals with preclinical studies, where you dose animals to check toxicity. So I did that.
Okay. And so, because I know a lot of people, I mean, I deal with a lot of students from the academy or people that are considering being CRAs. And even after, so here's, and I guess we're not going to do a top five thing. We'll save it for a future interview. But I wanted to talk about just a little more time to be spent on giving up and the struggle, right? Because a lot of people, I think, give up way too soon. And by the way, it's not just CRAs, it's when people start their own clinics. It's when PIs do their first study. Like, I'm noticing a common theme, and it's probably exists in other industries. It's just human nature, I think. But people want to give up because we don't like to struggle. We want instant gratification, and you're not going to
Right.
get that when you're starting out with anything. So, as far as someone who's wanting to be a CRA, that's great. My suggestion is get started somewhere in clinical research, just like you did, because you were already in the space, and so then it was a little easier for you to get on the CRA side of things. But like you said, I mean, you almost gave up. So how many positions did you apply to before you finally got your first interview?
So what happened was I started applying initially after, like, right towards the end of my undergrad program, and I didn't know exactly like that they were looking because they wouldn't even respond. So I applied a lot to like Icon and all these big CROs. So I took a break after that, and then I went on to into a biotech position, and then it was from there that I got my foot in the door because I got another someone I knew, one of the colonels or officers that I used to work for. He knew someone in a pharma company, and that's actually how I got in. But once he helped me, it was really easy after that. You
So,
know,
okay. So it's always, networking, making
yeah,
connections. And these days, I mean, I don't know how long ago that was, but now we have LinkedIn, we have all these social networks. There's an active community on Twitter of clinical research professionals. It's never been easier to network with strangers. You don't even need to go to SOCRA. I mean, it's not a bad thing to go for the networking, but you don't even have to do that. You can just network from where you are. You can send emails, you can call, you can write letters, and I feel like people just are looking for cookie cutter solutions that don't really exist. It's just a lot of work and a lot of struggle.
right. I
Yeah.
agree.
So how does one demonstrate that they have transferable skills? Like, let's say someone's working in banking and they're applying to be a study coordinator. What do you suggest they do in the interview? Obviously, they should learn about that company as much as they can. But what do you suggest they do?
Well, since I didn't really, well, actually, I would say highlight your skills because in clinical research, one of the like there are some traits or some characteristics you need to have that will make you a good CRA, like being a people person, attention to detail, problem solver, working great with teams, um, things like that. So if you're a banker, you can those traits are things that you have to possess as a banker too. Like especially if you're in customer service or you're a teller or something, you're interfacing with customers and you have to demonstrate good customer service skills. So highlight things like that, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and don't be afraid to sell. You have to sell yourself.
Of course.
Even yeah, sell yourself. You have to, and everybody does it. So highlight those types of things that because managers when they are looking to hire CRAs, when they interview you, they're also gauging those character traits. They're trying to see, are you a people person? Are you a team player? How well do you work with other people? Because you're going to have to be working with a lot of people to get one mission complete, and that's getting some drug approved. So it's very important thing to have. So don't feel like it's not important. Like
Mm-hmm.
highlight things.
And there's no substitute for having even some hands-on practical experience. So one of the hacks I suggest everyone do if you're losing motivation out there trying to get a job in the space, even as a coordinator, sometimes it's hard to get a job as a study coordinator when you have no experience. get started somewhere. So that might mean a research assistant. If you're a medical assistant, just go intern at clinics. They always need help with people to draw blood, conduct vital signs, all that kind of stuff. If you're not, go in as a patient recruiter. You can go on your Craigslist in your area and you will find in the volunteers section at least one posting every day, depending on what market you're in. But most of the major metro areas will have like 12 postings a day of research clinics in your community looking for patients. So you call those people up and say, hey, I'm a patient recruiter. I want to refer patients to you. Let's talk. And then you go, you get your foot in the door, you talk to them about what they need, and then you go find them a patient, right? Then you got to learn about that protocol and go recruit patients from the community and from other physicians. So that's a way to get started. It's a lot of work and people don't want to do it. But if you have nothing, all you have is effort, right? Like there's nothing else that you have except effort. So you're going to have to work for it and don't lose motivation. And then that's why we created the CRA Academy, is at the end of the 3-month training, we give you hands-on experience during the internship so you can at least talk about some of the things you've actually done, even as an intern, in your interview. And then they're going to understand that you have some working knowledge of clinical research. So that's all I have to suggest. What do you think about my patient recruitment strategy? Do you think that's good or do you think that's nonsense?
No, I think it's good. I think that you also you bring a different side of things that can be done for incoming CRAs or people that want to become CRA. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't know, but to me, if I was trying to get in and somebody had told me what you just told me, I would do it because there wasn't anybody like Dan when I was trying to become a CRA. So I definitely think that would be a good idea because they want to see these types of things, and just, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't
Thank
think it
you
would
very
hurt.
much. I appreciate it. So this video is just to motivate all the people out there that are struggling and are ready to give up. Don't give up. You probably need to adjust your strategy. If you've applied to 100 places and it's not working, you probably need to change your CV. You probably need to try a different tactic. But eventually, if you persevere, you will get in, unless there's some fundamental issue with your CV or you yourself.
Exactly. And I have to add, I changed my CV multiple times in this process. So yeah, you finally, one worked. So just keep moving.
reverse reverse engineer your CV. We teach
Yeah.
all of our students in the academy that, especially the ones that come here to California for the internship. So if you're in the academy or you're going to be in the academy, yes, we have internship locations almost everywhere in the country or major metro areas. But I highly recommend you come out to Southern California for a week and we give you the hands-on, just like some of the subtle nuances that could actually produce returns for you in your efforts of becoming a clinical researcher. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.